Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and on today's video I'm going to be talking about the next storm that could develop that's going to come off the Gulf of Carpentaria and then form into the Indian Ocean in the coming week. So at the minute, obviously we've got the remains of Blake that's starting to head inland now. It's still got a decent structure to it, but obviously it can't form a core or like an eye wall or anything because it's inland, so it can't really do that, but it can still be potent in that, and obviously it's bringing much needed rain to combat the fires. But the storm that we're going to be focusing on around here, and at the minute it's just a broad low, so this is just like a very broad circulation. There's well, it looks like there's some moisture towards the northern parts of Australia, which is obviously great. And as we go on in, what's really uncertain is the intensity with the storm and location as well. The past couple of runs, the GFS has been shown to be a lot weaker and going southwest, but on the most recent run that's just come out, I'm going to show you what happens. So it develops it quickly straight away, and then it rapidly intensifies around the beginning of next week. And then it gets around the 930 odd millibars, so that would become a category 5 maybe on the Australian scale, but probably a low end 4 on the Saffir-Simpson scale. So, and then I was showing you the 6 o'clock run. What's the difference? It's more over here and it's 995 millibars, and if I go on the run before that, it's all the way over here and it's in the 960s. So the strength is very uncertain. It seems to be in the 12 o'clock run is similar to the 0 o'clock run as in track, but obviously the most recent one is stronger because it develops a lot earlier. This is the key for me. If it develops a lot earlier in this region right here, then it could rapidly intensify. But if it's slower to intensify and it's still like quite weak down here, it won't have time to intensify. And when it does, when it gets towards here, it'll get more hostile, then it won't be able to develop. If we look at the relative humidity here, so obviously the more turquoise or green it is, the more moisture there is in that, and the more favorable it is. But the more dark brown there is, the more dry air, it's not as favorable, because if it gets entrained into cyclones, it kills off the convection, known as the cumulonimbus, and it won't be able to form a uniform structure. It won't be able to form. So if, like, for a cyclone to form, you want to see a lot of green around it. And as we go on the 12 o'clock run, you can see there's a lot of green around it, and it looks like a classic cyclone. As we go on and it rapidly intensifies, look how much green and dark green it is. If I go in that, like, towards the eye wall of the storm, there's around 97% relative humidity, so that's just plenty enough moisture for it to obviously to keep its convection going and in that. And then if we look at wind shear, so when it develops, there seems to be not much shear at all, probably around 10 to 15 knots, but as it goes more towards the west, shear doesn't become a problem at all. And when it gets towards its peak, it starts to open, open more of a more of a northerly outflow and like a westerly outflow, and then it starts to get a lot more solid in structure and in appearance. So what's crucial here is if it develops a lot earlier and it gets stronger a lot earlier, then I think it's primed for rapid intensification. But if it takes its time and if it stays around land too much, then it won't be able to form its circulation, and they try to focus its circulation, they'll find it hard and it'll take longer, and when it does, it'll be too late. So in my opinion, we're gonna have to keep an eye on it. I think there is a chance it could rapidly intensify, but it has to be ideal. So on the most recent run, there's not much land interaction at all. If you look at the 6 o'clock run, you see how it's hovering around land a lot, and it just keeps clipping the coastline. And actually on the 6 o'clock run, it actually goes back inland. And then if you look at the most recent run, it develops a lot earlier, and then it just heads west. So if you're anywhere from the time I was saying on the coastline all the way to the western coast of Australia, keep an eye on the forecast. You're not out of the woods yet. as the 6 o'clock run demonstrated. And on the 12 o'clock clock run, yes, it's not affecting anyone, but it still could easily turn south. So just remain like vigilant and just keep an eye on the forecast. If we look at the 10-meter wind speed, so this actually has an it gives you an estimate of how strong the winds could get with the system. So we go to peak here. I'll try to go on the eye wall to try to get an estimate. And you have to remember, sometimes it underplays it. I couldn't get a good sample. I'll try one more time to see if I can get a good sample. Not really, but this isn't the strongest. It's really hard to find like to find the best sample and that, like when it's zoomed out. But according to the GFS, then close to the eye wall, there is roughly around category 3 winds on this, and that's not even in the eye wall, so it's probably a cat 4, cat 5 on the Saffir-Simpson scale. Look at the euro here, the 0 o'clock run. It starts to intensify, and it's similar to the GFS, but it's not as intense. But you have to remember this is lower resolution as well, so the higher like resolution is probably in the mid to low 940s, so probably a category 4 on the south on the Australian scale, maybe approaching category 5, and it's similar with the truck with the GFS. But as I say, if you're on the west coast of Australia, anywhere from the Timor Sea on the coastline and all the way to the west coast, you are not out of the woods at all yet. If we look at the sea surface temperature anomalies here, and compared to the last couple of updates, it's actually cooling down a lot, but it's obviously still well above. It's like obviously still really warm. It's not as warm in the Gulf of Carpentaria. Interestingly, has cooled down slightly. And then we look at the sea surface temperature anomalies. As you could see on the last update, it was in the 33s. Now it's 31 degrees. It's cooled down a bit, yeah, but it's still 31 degrees, so it's still well enough fuel for it to develop. So as I said, there's nothing really in the way from it rapidly intensifying. The only thing is that could stop it if it interacts land too much. But as the recent run showed, if it stays off land altogether, it'll have more time to rapidly intensify and get a vertical and become vertically stacked, and then it can rapidly intensify. Okay guys, I hope you found this video very informative, and please like and subscribe and turn on the post notifications so you don't miss another upload in the future. And yeah, we're just gonna have to keep an eye on the developments for the future. I think personally, if it avoids the coastline early on, it could rapidly intensify, and if you're on the coastline here in Western Australia, don't let it go down at all. It could easily turn south, as the 6 o'clock run demonstrated, which is the run before the recent one. So okay guys, I hope you found it informative, and I'll probably do another update on the storm tomorrow.